he's thinking way outside the cage, and that's really not acceptable to be talking in those terms because all the avocado growers and all the IT guys, computer people, we're going to have to be sweeping each other's homes because we don't make anything in this country anymore.
Well, that's true, and it's deliberate and by design. It's part of a system, not only in the United States but in Western Europe, to bring those countries to their knees so that they will be forced to accept world government. So free trade, globalization, offshoring, and outsourcing, and all of these treaties like NAFTA and CAFTA, they are set up for a reason, and that reason is to financially humble the United States. So these things didn't happen willy-nilly, or the people who created the situations weren't dumb. They are all working toward the same end, and that's world government. And if you notice the change in government we just had, we had 2 administrations, and then we have a new one, and it was kind of a Ziploc change, seamless, and we have a new president, and Team A from the Council on Foreign Relations came in and replaced Team B.
That's right.
You're not going to get any change because they control everything. Who are they? They are Wall Street, banking, and the advisors are behind the scenes who have been doing the same thing for years. And until we get rid of the Federal Reserve and put tariffs up again, we're not going to be able to survive. And we're going to become a third world country if we continue to allow our leadership to do what they're doing.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's go to Jim in PA. Jim in PA, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thanks, Joyce. Question for Bob. Bob, a couple years ago, I had noticed that different colored bills were coming into circulation. We had the green bills, and then I started seeing the reds and the orange. I was told, or I had heard, that when they really crashed the economy, that only one color of the currency was going to be able to be used inside.
Interesting. We'll be right back. We got a 3-minute break. We'll be back with the Power Hour.
Once in a
welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Joyce Riley. I could listen to that music all day long. Sometimes I do on the weekends. I thank you very much for joining us in the Power Hour today. We're talking to our guest, Bob Chapman. The subject is finances. The whole world doesn't see it, but we do at the Power Hour, thanks to our guest, who is the editor of the International Forecaster newsletter. You can get a complimentary copy for the first time by calling 877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178, or go to theinternationalforecaster.com. Now, of course, the Lakota coins that Ted Anderson was talking about, those are available by calling 800-686-2237, 800-686-2237. Bob Chapman, I want to go back to the question by Jim in Pennsylvania. Jim, you said that there are different colors of currency right now, which we know, but you're saying that what is going to happen when they have a single color of currency?
Yeah, I was told, or I had heard that when they really crashed the economy, that one color of our currency, like the green, would be used within the country or outside the country, and the other, or vice versa, the other color would be used inside the country and outside the country, and they'd be valued at different rates. I wanted to ask Bob if there's any truth to that, or if that's just a falsehood.
Okay, have you heard anything about that, Bob Chapman?
Yes, and I think what has transpired since the different shades of bill came out is that they've been distributed all over the world, so I don't see them being significant in being outside the United States as opposed to inside. And so I don't think that's a factor. I think probably it was something that people were guessing at, and they were incorrect.
Okay. Thank you very much for the phone call, Jim. Tom in Arizona, you're on the line. Go ahead, please, with Bob Chapman.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up this subject of California going down the tubes. I was listening to Alex Jones, and he had Kaiser on, and they were saying that this is one of the first waves in a wave of dominoes that's about to hit.
That's right. We've been told that. Ted, Bob, do you want to respond as to how many other states might be in the wings ready to go belly up?
Well, there's several, and they're large states, needless to say. But none of the states are in good shape. They have to keep on cutting and cutting and cutting, and they don't want to do it because the same idiotic politicians who caused the problem in the first place don't want to lay people off. They don't want to cut services because all they want to do is get reelected. And so, the problems that all of these states have, and we wrote about it 3, 4, 5 years ago. I said, this is what's coming. And it's here and now. And we cited California over and over again because it's probably the loosest of all the economies. And it's a real big one. I think it's the 8th largest economy in the world. And so there's no end to this unless they start laying people off. They start cutting back. It's as simple as that. You can't raise taxes. You're in a depression.
Yeah, there is no way they can do that, but they're going to try it, I think. I really think they are. Thank you very much, Tom, for the phone call. Where do you think it's going right now? What do you think is going to be happening over the next 3 to 6 weeks?
On California?
Anything.
Well, with the states, they're all going to continue to try to keep their house on. California is already defaulted for all intents and purposes, so I don't know how that's going to work out, but I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't want to hold California municipal bonds.
Ooh, now that's a good point. We'll be right back after this 1 minute, 10-second break with Bob Chapman. Yeah, I'd like to know how they can continue to function with IOUs. We'll be right back. Stay tuned to the Power Hour. 1 minute, 10 seconds. I don't know, maybe we should all try it. We'll be right back. Big lie, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that they're finally seeing it on CNBC? Do you think they're seeing it on Fox Financial News? I want to ask you, Bob Chapman, it seems to me that because we are getting worse and worse off in this country, or each state that is getting worse and worse off, it doesn't look like there's going to be any reversal to this unless they just start the printing presses again. But can't CNBC or Kudlow and company and all these people, how are they keeping a straight face now when they come back and say, well, things look like they're getting a little bit better today? I mean, they can't believe what they're saying, can they?
Well-paid sociopaths.
Is that what it is, huh?
It's as simple as that. They're just born corrupted liars. And every time I used to go on television, I'd tell them that right to their face. And it's one of the reasons I'm not on television anymore.
Yeah, that's not going to get you any 1,000 points of light award.
Well, it's very simple. That's what they're doing. They're lying. Our government lies all day long. Wall Street. Listen, I spent 28 years on Wall Street. They wouldn't know the truth if it jumped up and bit them on the nose.
Are you still thinking that people need to get in their supply of whatever it is that they need and just stay prepared?
Oh, goodness, yes. Especially food and filter for water and things to defend yourself, and then gold and silver coins. And for those people who have means, they can get gold and silver shares as well. And also your vitamins, your herbs, and make sure you have 6 months supply at least. And also, you should have a safe at home, and you should have at least $5,000 in small bills in case there's a bank holiday.
Ooh,
which there could be.
You have promoted the idea.
Fundamental things.
You've been promoting the idea there's going to be a bank holiday, haven't you?
Well, I've been told by people that they think that sort of thing is very possible with the fall of the dollar. If you remember, just a year and a quarter ago, many nations were not accepting dollars in commerce because it had fallen on the USDX down to 71.18. It's around 80 right now. And at the Taj Mahal, they wouldn't take dollars. You had to have euros or something else. And that could happen again. And it could affect the domestic system. We could have a collapse back down in the stock market. That could do that as well. But I think they want to have a bank holiday, maybe for 3, 4, 5, 6 days. I think as a trial run to see what kind of response they get for the big one.
Do you know of any more banks that have failed over the weekend? I know there were 7 last week that failed.
Yeah, well, that was Thursday, and that was it for the weekend. And so, I don't know, they're up in the 50s, but there's a lot of banks.
Oh, they didn't want them to fail over the 4th of July because they were going to be at picnics and stuff like that, so the Fed didn't want to have to come in and take over, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked to a very important banker,